gonna give my all to you. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. Your game is on, give me a call, boo. If your love is strong, gonna give my all to you. I love it, I love it. If your love is strong, gonna give my all to you. I love it, I love it. If your love is strong, gonna give my all to you. All to you. All to you. All to you.
Hey, what do you know, my love? I need you so, and we belong together. We belong together.
When it comes to the house every weekend. When it comes to the house every weekend. House every weekend. House every weekend.
Yo, what's happening, everybody? This is your DJ NJ Cubano. I am back. Tonight we're gonna have a great show. It's good to be back. It's been about 2 weeks. I took a little layoff. Been really busy at work. I wish I could give you guys the details, but unfortunately I can't. We are gonna have a special guest tonight, Vital the One, aka Sam, one of my good friends / teammates of this past Las Vegas tournament event. We're also gonna be speaking about the CMG LAN Gears of War Competitive 2.1 game update. What are your thoughts on it? And lastly, to finish up the night, we're going to be talking about the Gears off-season reality TV show, which I think is huge and is what Gears of War has been lacking for years to come. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to be represented on an episode yet, but I look forward to in the future. So to get this episode started, let me cut the music off. Let me introduce my special guest of the night. Sam, take it away. Introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are, where you came from, and why you love playing with me. Sammy, are you there, Sammy boy?
Yep.
All right, buddy. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been playing? Who's your current squad? And a little bit of background.
All right. Well, I'm 17 years old. I currently live in California. I've been playing Gears of War for about 5 years, but I watched it all my life. My brothers have been playing since the first gear, since the first day, and ever since then, I just love going into the room, watching the game, and that's ultimately what got me into the game. And I ended up picking up Gears of War on Gears of War 3. I got it on Black Friday of 2012. I'll never forget it. I got a TV, an Xbox, and Gears of War 3. And ever since then, I just always had the fire to just play the game competitively and just be the very best. And
Awesome.
right now, in terms of teaming, I do not have a team currently. I had one just a day ago, but something went wrong with a couple of my teammates, so they had to take a break from the game. So I am currently a free agent at the moment, which is pretty terrible because my team was very good. But it is what it is. Just gotta keep on moving past any obstacle. So, yeah.
Of course. Thank you for that. I know you've been kind of flip-flopping here and there, scrimming with different teams, different players. I personally think you have the potential to be one of the best. Some teams may not see that right now, but I know long-term you are going to be on top. So starting off tonight, Sam, we're going to be talking about the CMG LAN. I know you will be attending with a team that you have. And we also have a 16-team bracket. It's going to be this Saturday, August 5th. I'm pretty sure at 1 p.m. Pacific time, if I'm right, Sam?
It is 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Pacific time.
Okay.
Yes. And then it is a 16-team event, double elimination. So yeah, there's gonna be a losers bracket. So it's gonna be amazing. We got some big names coming out. So it's gonna be great. If you guys aren't playing, be sure to come out and support. CMG has done so much for the California scene. They had a CMG one last year. Oh no, back in February actually, a couple months ago. Seems like forever. But yeah, they had an event not too long ago. It was amazing, great time, great people, great organization. They are running Fire and Ice, and huge shout out to them. I know his owner is a great owner, and he definitely supports all the teams that he sponsors. So yeah, he's a great guy. So huge shout out to him. So yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
it's gonna be a great weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was looking at the teams a little bit before I went live today, just kind of catching up with it. See a lot of good teams. I'm looking at the bracket right now as we speak. The number one seeded team for everybody in the stream. If you guys haven't checked into it, make sure you go check. It's going to be on battlefy.com. You could check off of Deluxe Haas's Twitter if you guys don't know it yet. But we do have Glory at the number one seed, which consists of Kenny from Optic, Toy Soldier from Echo, Mental from Optic, Explosive from Optic, and Solar from Echo. Now, Sam, that is probably going to be the team to beat, from my opinion. What do you think it's going to take to beat those guys at a land like this?
At a land like this, they're coming in with the mindset, yo, we have the gun skill, and that's all they're gonna pretty much ride off. They feel confident, they feel like they could be anyone, but that's where you have to come through with a solid team and just out team them. Honestly, that's all it's gonna take. You just gotta play like a team because those players, they just feel like they're gonna show up and take the crown, and that's definitely not gonna be the case. If you play as a team, and if you have the talent, you could definitely top that team. You could definitely beat them.
Agreed with that. Obviously, this is a team full of the top pros in this game currently. Like you said, it really doesn't matter. You could come into this event, whether you're a full team, a pickup team. I honestly think pickup teams come in with more fire. You have a little bit more to win. This team is kind of split between Echo and Optic. So great roster altogether. I want to actually break down each roster as quick as possible. So I'm looking at the brackets. We're going to go to seed number 2. It's actually Ghost Gaming, which I was crazy to find out they're attending, which is awesome. You got Identiv, Speedy, Ribs, Rushies, and Sleepy Time. Now that's a full roster. What do you think about them? Give me a little tag.
Ghost Gaming is a solid team. I honestly find the number one seeded team better than them, though, just because I feel like individually they're all better than everyone on Ghost, except for like maybe one or two players. But I feel like Ghost is still like a new team, and screaming them as of late, I feel like they still haven't gotten everything down pat as a unit. I feel like individually, of course, like your talents there, you'll see Identi's getting a 2-piece, Rushies with a 3-piece. Always they're always gonna have that skill. You know what I mean? But in terms of having down everything down pat, I feel like they could win. They really could win. They really could, but I don't know. It's gonna be a crazy weekend, definitely. We're gonna see some upsets for sure.
For sure. So moving on, we're going to this number 3 seeded team. We got Desert Reborn, Crushmo, Crash, Eternity, Trix, and Rezik. Now, before we go forward, I heard through the grapevine that Drix is not attending the event. That has been confirmed. I don't want anybody to think I'm breaking news or anything like that. But Drix cannot attend the event. And I know there's a little bit of a difficult situation that we're going through right now between two rosters, one being your roster, Sam. So I want you to let everybody know in here what exactly is going on right now with that roster, number 3 seeded team, and yours. Tell me a little bit about it and give me some background information as to what exactly is going on.
Okay, so pretty much the team, if you guys don't know, is comprised of me, Hesitate, Yogurt, Giraffe, and Firearm. Okay, and we scrimmed for about a day and a half or so, and everything was going well. You know what I mean? We're doing what we got to do. We're working on things of all that good stuff. And then the next day, it was yesterday, he randomly just messaged us in the CMG group chat saying, I'm out. That's it. He said, I'm out. And then we're like, yo, what do you mean you're out? He's like, I'm going to go play with the Rezik's team. And then we're like, okay. So a couple of my teammates reached out to Deluxe to find out more information, like, yo, like there's a roster lock, like what's the ruling behind it? And then pretty much Deluxe was telling us how if we don't sign off on a contract that pretty much releases Firearm from the team, he can't go and play with them. So we came to a team consensus, and we're like, honestly, he kind of pulled a real snake move. Like these guys paid a lot of money for Yogurt and Giraffe paid a lot of money for hotels and flights and like Giraffe is on a $2,000 flight right now. All right, guys. So just know a lot of money was spent into this. So a lot of different variables were in play. So these guys are about to board their flights the next day. I'm speaking as if it was yesterday. So they're about to board the flights the next day. So we're just talking about like, yo, like what do we do? And then pretty much we're just looking at it from the best possible aspect, and we're like, we pretty much can't release this guy because if we do, we're gonna be stuck with the 16th seed, and we're gonna be in a situation to play Optic in the first round. And you know what I mean? And that's not really fair. My teammates we have like over 100,000 pro points combined, you know what I mean? And like that wasn't earned to be in a 16th seed, you know what I mean? So we pretty much said we're not gonna release him, and then anything that he does from this point on is the ball's in his court, you know what I mean? If he wants to come to Saturday and not play with us, then he pretty much cannot play in the tournament.
Okay.
That, to my knowledge, he cannot play in the tournament if it comes Saturday and he doesn't show up at the door with us. And then that pretty much gives us the ability to pick up any fifth at the door. So, and with us keeping the seed. That's all. But if we were to drop him right now or anytime before Saturday, we would pretty much lose our seed. So we had to go with the option, of course, keeping the fourth seed, and then just playing it out from there. So whatever he does from here on out, it's all on him, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure people didn't expect that, being that this is a local event. Even though it's not just a local event, we do have a lot of pro points being played for. We have a lot of teams flying out, teammates of yourself, teammates in general, other players coming from, different parts of the country. I know Crushmo was trying to fly out as well, which is, awesome. That's something that we need, especially. We need, some drive from these pro players or just players in general. Without numbers going to events, there's really not much, we could work off of. So the fact that we have a 16-team bracket, completely filled at a West Coast tournament, which obviously is always hard to fill compared to East Coast tournaments, only because of the fact that, and you could agree, me being one of them, 90%, 95% of us are freaking from the East Coast when it comes to Gears of War. You got New York, you got New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, so that's a big number of the Gears of War community. So I'm excited to see, this kind of an event happening over there, especially for the pro points. I hope that you and the squad can come to an agreement. I know you're playing with a good group of guys. Heza, awesome guy, played against him on LAN, extremely talented player. I'm not going to lie, very talented guy, as well as your other teammates. Now, to not kind of sit along on this, we're going to move forward after you explain that whole situation. We do have the fourth seeded team for the event, which is you guys right now. Like you said, King Wall Bouncers is the team name, which was Heza, Sam, Firearm Giraffe, and Yogurt. Obviously, very skilled, veteran, experienced team. You being one of the younger guys on the squad, which I think you round out any kind of roster. Being that I have a biased opinion about you, obviously. We played together before at Las Vegas. I thought you were amazing. You have what it takes. So we'll move on. We're going to go to Fire and Ice. Now, this is another full roster. We have Strafey, Detox, Avexis, Demo, and Xenon. Now, Sam, from your knowing, are these guys going to be attending the event?
All of these guys will be attending the event, absolutely. All right, that is a fact. All 5 of them will be at the event, and honestly, these guys, I feel like these guys are kind of being slept on. I feel like they have the talent and the teamwork. I know they've been grinding a lot. Honestly, I feel like they could honestly come through, and honestly, they might be able to take this. Honestly, then they have the talent. They have been scrimming a lot. They have been a team for quite some time now, so you could definitely expect to see them beating a lot of good teams there. Honestly.
Yeah, which I agree with that. A lot of people, I wouldn't say hate on them, but I just don't think talk about them enough. That's a very skilled team in my eyes. I happen to play them. We play them. What am I saying? At Vegas. Obviously, they had a couple of team changes that happened. They did need a little bit more experience. I didn't see them as that much of a dominant team as probably I would say maybe the top 4 teams are right now. But I think with time and experience, they could be something very well. I like Strafey. I know Strafey's a really good player. He's very consistent. Demo, a great leader coming from E United over to that roster. Zenon, which I thought was a really good pickup. Zenon, I think, is very underrated. I think he could round out that roster with what they need. Avexis,
Definitely.
regardless of how much he talks, and he can be a little reckless. Obviously, you saw at the Las Vegas event, he could be a little reckless, but I think the kid is extremely talented. I just wish he would keep his mouth shut a little bit more often and kind of focus on the game a little bit more. I think a manager / coach would fix that problem with that guy. And then you have, who didn't I talk about? Detox, yes. Detox is an awesome power weapon player for that team. I know he does it all. I'm not sure if he's the first spawn for that squad, but the kid is amazing. So yeah, I agreed with you. I feel like that team will make some noise at this event, and hopefully they can make it all the way to finals. So we're gonna move forward. We're gonna go to Technique Esports, seeded number 6. We have Oz, Sickest, Munchies, Raiden, and Azuris. I know these are some guys that you've actually played with before and know in general. This is a little bit more of like an open squad to me. Not meaning that they're bad, but meaning a little bit, more of on the amateur level, kind of knocking on the door of semi-pro level. What do you think about these guys going into it?
I've honestly played with almost all of them out of like these little locals, these Microsoft events, and I could say they have the talent. They definitely have the talent. But the thing is, it's with these teams, it just takes for them to work as a unit. If they could all be on the same cylinder, be on the same page, like they could catch the 1, 2, 3 pieces and go off. But the thing is, if they're able to capture those numbers and just capitalize every single moment, I feel like they could beat some good teams. I don't know if they could take it all, to be honest, but if they definitely shoot straight and they play as a team, I could really see them placing like top 4, I want to say. So,
Okay.
But definitely, yeah, my boys Munchies, Oz, Raiden, all of them, Sickest, they're goons, man. So definitely people shouldn't be sleeping on them.
Agreed. So we're going to go forward. We're going to go to Golden State, seeded number 7th. We have Dili, Chromatic, Nijitsu, Numbskull, and Cancers. I know a lot of these guys. I know you know a lot of them. Shout out to Numbskull, aka Orlando, my boy out there. Nujitsu, they out here. They're gonna be doing some work. Glad to see those guys attending the event. Really hope they go out there. I want to see some trash talk videos. I know, Sam, you played with Orlando the last time. I enjoyed your guys' trash talk. I was crying watching that video.
That was definitely insane. It was one for the books. I went up against my former teammate that I'm going with into the CMG Hesitate and his team, and pretty much it was the battle between us and them. Whoever won that matchup was honestly gonna take it. Unfortunately, we fell short 7-5 or 7-4 tiebreaker. But it was definitely one of the most intense, fun matches I've ever been a part of. The trash talk was literally insane. We were going back and forth, just getting like so vulgar. It was insane, honestly. Like I know me and Q were just talking about it the other day. It was pretty fun. So, yeah.
You two guys are quite the pair. That's why it's pretty funny you guys are playing at this event together. But shout out to that team, Golden State, Orlando. Hope you do well. Nujitsu. All you guys, hope you guys do your thing out there. We're going to go to the seeded 8th team. We have Crossfire. We have Creation, Cartoons, Death Witch, Grimes, and Jay Blazin. I honestly can't give much of an opinion on them. I don't really know most of them, not in a bad way. Sam, if you have something to say, obviously you could say something.
Yeah, I have played against these guys before. Most people would consider these guys quote-unquote pub kids, which I really feel like it's unfair because I played against these guys at a Microsoft LAN and they actually did beat me. Like it was insane. They brought it back. They were down 6-1. They were down 6-1 and they had the will to bring it all the way back, and they did end up taking the match. Luckily that wasn't tiebreaker, because that would have been pretty bad if we lost 6-1 on tiebreaker, if we choked a 6-1 lead on tiebreaker. But no, they did take it to a tiebreaker and they did beat us. A lot of people do sleep on these teams. because they don't really have the quote unquote big names, or like you haven't really heard of them. But honestly, these guys play as a unit, and they lancer a lot. Like you could tell by their team name Crossfire, like that, like that's really one of their big aspects of their gameplay. They love lancering, working as a team. You won't really see them taking much shotgun fights unless it's necessary. So you could, yeah, definitely, you could see them coming in, and they definitely won't get beat up. They'll hold their ground, most definitely.
Which is good. Obviously, coming to this LAN, there's going to be a lot of top competition. So the fact that they could hold their own is going to be very crucial, especially at a LAN event like this, at a local quote unquote, even though this is looking to be like a pretty decent event. We're going to go to the seeded number 9 team, the Pride Shooters. We have Godsmokes, Newsilite, Raymond, Tanks, and Crumb. Now, I think I've played with Ray before. With you actually, when I first met you, I guess you could say, and talked to you on Gears. What about that squad? What do you think about the Death Shooters?
I have played with Smokes, Nucleates, and Ray before. If Cubano, I don't know if you remember, but we did play we did play Crumb and Nucleates. I think it was only Nucleates. Maybe Crumb was there as well, but we did play them at our first match at Vegas. So yeah, but I have played against Crumb and Nucleates at these little locals, and I think the last CMG I played against them as well. But yeah, they're pretty top. They're solid players, you know what I mean? They're gonna hold their own all individually. The more so with these teams as we go down the bracket, it's really gonna be their teamwork, you know what I mean? It's gonna be how they work as a unit and how they play against the top tier teams. It's individually, I feel like they can all hold their own, but definitely going into the event, they want to look at their teamwork.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't comment too much on the team, but we'll continue to move forward. So we got the 10th seeded team, Twisted Sin GG. Let's check this roster out. We got Lex, Infuria, Jose, Emo, and Retrix. I'm pretty sure I played against those guys online before and probably through the years. Again, don't know much about them. Sam, if you have anything?
I played against this team at a Microsoft local out here in Century City, and they're just your typical team. You know, you're not gonna. I don't really know what to say about them. Like you're just gonna see them do like kind of like individual plays. Nothing really too special, honestly. They're just like your typical team. That's honestly all I could really say about them.
Okay, honest is always the best policy. So let's go. Seated. This team name is great. I love it. Anything is possible. Number 11 seeded team. We have Sanjay. Oh, this is great. I played with CJ at the last Microsoft event. Rigza, Mooks, Dr. Keen, and activists, whatever it is.
Okay.
All right, so in regards to that team, I have played with Sanjay on LAN. I just played with him at this Microsoft event that we won. It was me, Sanjay, Chubbs, Deadly, and Zero Excel. He played really well. I'm not gonna lie. He's a very aggressive player. He does lack a little bit of communication when he's mid-game, especially when he's in a fight. If he's crossing for somebody, he kind of lacks the skill to be able to talk and shoot at the same time, which when you're in the heat of a moment, especially against a good team, that last communication that you could put out there to, you know, your location, who you're fighting, anything.
Everlasting.
Yeah, that can mean the round right there. So I see that from him, but the skill is there. If he goes there and he plays his heart out, very confident, and he's super positive with his teammates, you know, I think he could do really well for that team. As far as the rest of them, I don't know much about him. So Sam, if you want to touch on that.
Honestly, the only two people I could really comment about is Dr. Keen and Riggs. They're both honestly really good players, and I know they're both free agents for season 2. So if you guys haven't already, be sure to hit them up and look out for them at this CMG. I promise you, they will be going off, doing their thing, putting in work. So yeah, shout out to Riggs and Dr. Keen. Other than that, I'm not really quite sure about the other players.
Word. Moving forward, but before we continue, Rezik, my man Kevin's in here. Big shout out to you, Kev. I hope you do well at the event, regardless of whatever happens or who you guys play with or whatever. Hope to see you do well. I won't be there, Kev. Unfortunately, that's a little far out there for me, and a little bit last second. But I will be watching from home when I can. And good luck. So continue. We're going to go to the 12th seeded team. Anything is possible. It's 11th. Flawless. There it is. I was trying to look for that. Flawless. The seeded 12 team. We have Hexel, Phased, Coda from CA, Saru, and Cell. I have no idea who these guys are. I wish them the best of luck. I love that team. Now, Sam, take it away. Do you know any of these guys? Anything about them?
Yes, these are all LA locals, so I definitely know almost all of them. FaZe and Hexel, they've been a duo for quite some time now. I know they've been trying to start up a team. They're pretty sure they play under Phenom. So yeah, they've just been a duo for quite some time. They're pretty skilled players. I played against them a couple times at these Microsoft events. I'm pretty cool with Chuck, which is FaZe, and Hexel. Other than that, I'm not really quite familiar with the rest of the roster. I just seen their names around here, around like these little Microsoft events. But yeah, other than that, best of luck to them. They're definitely the homies.
The homies. They're definitely the homies. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, going forward, the 13th seeded team, we have the Graveyard Esports Squad. This is my homie on this team, but we're gonna go through the roster first. We got Vexilla, High Risk, Gunster, Trent Dog, and to round out that roster, we have Big Pedro 420. Now,
Hey.
I was happened to meet Big Pedro at Las Vegas. Pedro, if you're in here, I wish you the best of luck. You're a great guy. Huge fan of Gears of War. I'm a huge fan of you now. I hope you guys go out there and do work. If you ever had any questions or you wanted anything Gears related, you contacted me directly anytime. I'll take care of you. Sam, take it away. Do you know anything else about this roster? I'm assuming they're all local guys, but I know Big Pedro, big fan. What do you know?
Yeah, honestly, on the same boat as you, Cubano. Honestly, I only know Big Perro. Ran into him in a couple pubs. I've seen him at Vegas, and honestly, that's about it. The last CMG, don't really know too much about these guys, so might have to move on.
That's fine, which is okay. We're being respectful and we're talking about who we know and giving you guys shout outs regardless to that roster. Good luck as well out at this event. Hope you guys do work. Going into the next team, we have the seeded 14th team, Zero Talent. We have Red, White, and Jew, LT,
Hey.
LT Trig Gun, Tragic, Mill 47, and Gears 4 God. Now, I have absolutely no idea who these guys are. Those names are priceless. I'll give them that. Gears 4 God, Red, White, and Jew. I mean, he sounds like he's a beast. Wish you guys,
he is a beast.
wish you guys the
He
best of luck. Sam, what do you think?
Red, White, and Jew. That's my man Noah right there. He's a homie. I've known him for quite some time now. I talked to him at a couple of these Microsoft events. He's definitely a talented player, on the come up for sure. And then Trigun as well. He's definitely. I think I played a couple pubs with him before, if I'm not mistaken. And Gears 4 God. This man is. I promise you, he is so slept on. He has the talent and the skills to go far, honestly. And people, it's kind of sad to see how people sleep on other talented players in the community, but definitely Gears 4 God will be making noise at this event. I promise you. I was just playing last night with him. I was playing pickups. I was playing like dodgeball pickups with just a bunch of viewers, just having fun. And he was there and he was dropping 20 bombs. Like he was just going off, dropping over like 3,000 points every game. So definitely big shout out to Gears 4 God. He is a good player. So is Red, White, and Jew. So shout out to my boys. Best of luck. I'm gonna see y'all this weekend.
The name is great.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys. Wish you guys the best of luck. We'll go to the next squad. Where were we at? We were at Graveyard, Zero Talent. Now we're going to go to Team Discipline. Let's pull up these guys. The seeded 15 squad. Again, another great guy I know, Reaper Snipe, has been a viewer / fan of Raw Talent. Myself, Immortal Spawn, for years. I can't even tell you how long this guy has been representing Raw Talent and helping us out. So I wish him the best of luck. He is playing with 4-pointing, Red Raptor, Phoronix, and Killa Forever. Again, to be honest, I don't know much about the team. I do know Reaper. Good guy. I actually met him at Las Vegas as well for the first time. Wish you guys the best of luck if you guys see this right now live or if you're watching this. Hope you
Best
guys
of luck,
enjoy
boys.
it. Have some fun. And best of luck from your Sam and myself. Sam, did you have anything to say about that squad?
Other than feel free to say what's up at CMG. We could talk or do whatever. We could just chill out. And then best of luck at the LAN event, guys.
Of course. All right. So to round off this bracket, we are going to the 16th seeded team, if I can find them. Valley Mentality. Seeded 16th, we have Ballistic, Aztec, Fox, Honey Badger, and Monstars. I'm pretty sure I heard a couple of these guys. Not too familiar with them in general, but wish you guys the best of luck. Hope you do well. Sam, you have anything to say about this squad?
I know they're from the Valley, so definitely shout out to the San Fernando Valley. You know that's where I'm from. So hope y'all do well. Hold it down for the Valley for the one time. And then other than that, best of luck, guys. And yeah.
All right, so that is your 16-team bracket for the CMG tournament this weekend. Like I said, this is a tournament out on the West Coast. It is on Saturday, August 5th, 2017, 5v5. You are going to have
event.
Two-day event. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Good idea.
August 5th, August 6th. The startup on Saturday is 10 a.m. You guys can feel free to come through. You guys can buy spectators pass that will provide you food and an all-day pass to just chill out, watch the games, do whatever you got to do. So yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if their spectator pass does work for both days. I'm pretty sure though. But for more information, feel free to @Ninjitsu on Twitter or the Real Zoner, and you guys could personally ask them, or Deluxe even. And yeah, you guys can find out more information about passes from them. So yeah, there you go.
Awesome. And to just touch on it, there is going to be a MLG Pro Point breakdown for the event. I do have the list up in front of me. It's going to be first is 5,000 points, second's 3,000, third is 2,200 points, fourth is 1,800 points, fifth to sixth is 1,600 points, seventh to eighth is 1,400 points, ninth to 12th is 1,100 points, and 13th to 16th is 900 points. That is awesome for a local event. I'm not going to lie. I think It's a great idea, though, that the coalition is pushing this and making this a big Pro Point tournament. It gives more of an incentive for teams to attend this, or even players in general, to attend this event and kind of build their Pro Points before Season 2 starts. So I thank them for doing that. Big deal for us, as players and as a community in general. Give us a little bit more to play for besides, the money and obviously the pride of destroying our opponents. I know there's going to be some heated matches at this event. Depending on how these teams end up, it is going to be wild. Again, Sam, I look forward to seeing some montages from you, trash talking and whatnot. I hope people record it. I'll be sure to hit up Orlando and you during the weekend. As far as CMG goes, guys, thank you guys for running this tournament. I want to thank all of you, the staff, the commentators is going to be out there, the cast, whoever it is. We appreciate the hard work and dedication that you guys are putting into this weekend, into this event. The players themselves, I could speak on. Thank you as well. Now, we're going to go on to our second topic of the night. We're going to talk about the new game updates. So this is the competitive 2.1 Gears of War update. What are your guys' thoughts? So, Sam, before I talk about it, I want you to tell me what you think of this new 2.1 competitive beta update.
Okay, well, definitely I was in a private for about 30 minutes or so, and there's a really big misconception with the actual update, okay? The actual update, it prevents you from sliding into a wall from a further distance. There's a 75% longer distance where you can't slide into an actual wall. So people are thinking that the actual cooldown got longer, but that's not the case. If you center your screen and you strictly just move left and right, left and right, left and right, there's actually no cooldown at whatsoever. That's the thing that people don't understand. The only thing that makes it seem like, oh, why am I misrolling so much is because you can't slide into a wall as quick. If you bounce left, right, there's no cooldown whatsoever. That's where people really get this misperception of the update. So if you guys get the chance, go into a private Foundation or whatever map, center your screen, just bounce left, right, and I promise you there is no cooldown. It's literally just how far you can slide from one wall to another.
Okay, that's great information, actually. I'm sure nobody knew that, or maybe if they knew about it, they haven't been really thinking about it. That's all great information in regards to the new update. I know this update's a little bit different for most players. I know a lot of you guys in the stream chat right now aren't too happy with it. Now, I know it's different from the norm, especially with the wall bouncing, the canceling, whatnot. At this point in time, it's really hard to even decide on what update is the best. I know it's just a beta, so obviously the coalition is doing their job and is testing out different weapon settings, I'm sure, and movement settings, and kind of just trying to narrow it down. Us as a community have to really put in time to play this update, whether it's ranked, whether it's in private matches, whether if you like it or not. We still need feedback, especially to give it to the coalition and to the right people, so that they can kind of look at it and kind of judge. It's all a numbers game when it comes down to it, to try to fix the good and the bad. If we're constantly complaining about everything, we're not going to go anywhere. We're just going to keep getting a brand new update every time there's a new one put out. So I really think we need to focus and narrow in on the actual update. Play it, take some notes down, maybe email it or tweet at the Esports Gears Twitter, or Jack Felling does a good job about it. Snake-O Combat does a good job keeping up with it. But always be respectful, and the only reason why I touch on that is, if you want to get a good response, or if we want them to be able to work with us, we also have to be very respectful in our emails. Make sure they're a little bit professional. Make sure you have like a family member take a look at it, kind of like proofread it, before you send it off, just so we could kind of get our ideas across to them in regards to this update. Now, before I got on today, I played it myself, Sam. I know I told you. I played it for about an hour. I played probably like 2-3 ranked matches. This is my opinion on the update. Again, very different from the norm. I actually jumped on and was like, whoa, this is crazy. I wasn't used to the slower movement. But once I started getting into it, it was like nothing. You know what I mean? I was back at it again, playing the game like I normally do. Obviously not bouncing around as much as possible like it was before then. The shotgun seemed to be on point. There was a little bit of an issue, and I saw it on Twitter before I actually went live, that people were saying about about an up A on the wall and you getting the shot off and you still dying. That actually happened to me like 3 or 4 times, where I would get my shot off before the guy even hit the wall. He up A's into me, blows me away, and I get like a 48 or a 60 or something like that. That's probably... Speak to me.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
I just got a quick question for you, because I know you really enjoy playing Gears of War 2. So my one question for you is, when you were playing the game earlier, did it kind of give you that Gears of War 2 feel, or like what gears did it make you feel most what's the word? Like what gears did it feel most like? Because I've been seeing a lot of tweets that people are saying, oh yeah, this feels like Gal 2. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. And like I said, always cut me off whenever you have an idea or a question. Yes, the game felt more like Gears of War 2, with the movement, especially with, I guess the cooldown or whatever it was. That is probably the most close related game it felt like, was Gears of War 2. Was it as clean as Gears of War 2? Probably not. But again, this is only a beta, so they are working on it little by little. But to answer your question, yes, Gears of War 2 is kind of what I felt, playing the game, which I thought was awesome. I loved Gears of War 2, hands down, the best one. Been saying this for years now.
I agree with you, honestly. When I was playing the update for a little while, the shotgun felt strong. Like, your blind fires definitely felt strong. And the movement, like I said earlier, it's just how far you could slide into a wall. Like, Vinny, I see you in the chat saying Gears of War never made you roll into a wall. That's not the case. It's just how far you could slide into a wall that's making it seem like you're rolling, but you're not. They just cut down the space of you and the wall. You know what I mean? You could hit a wall from super far in the last update. Like, you know what I mean? You could bounce around like an absolute maniac. But on this update, the only thing that changed is how far you could slide into a wall. So you kind of have to be a little bit closer on the wall, so you can't wall cancel as much. You can't really quote unquote air bounce. You got to actually hit the wall, and then that's when you actually be playing the update, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. You do have to be closer to the walls in order to do that whole wall bouncing situation. You do have the cooldown, so you can't just spam it. I know a lot of people are complaining about it, especially in the chat right now. Vinny, you being one of them, because you're a sped. I really just think you in general, or just everybody in general, needs to slow down a little bit, play the game, kind of feel it out. It's different. Obviously, it's going to be different. The coalition is testing things out. Whether it was their idea, whether it was pro players' ideas, doesn't matter. It is a little bit more of a strafing game now. I did notice that. I probably got into like 10 strafe battles within the first map I played, which was awesome. That was like insane. The fact that I had to actually lower my sensitivity because I was playing on all 30s for a while now. I had to lower it down just to kind of control my strafe. So I like the idea that they're going with right now. If we could kind of bring a little bit back of the more, I guess, up-to-date wall bouncing along with this, obviously it'd probably be a good idea, but it doesn't matter. We'll probably get another update soon enough, and there'll be people complaining about it. So I think the coalition at this point really just needs to listen to, I guess, certain people, or just do what they think is right and kind of just stick with it. I think we need to stop changing it around. I know the off season is the time to do it if we're going to do it. So it is a good idea that it's happening now. And we're ready on the 2.1.
I most definitely agree. And one more thing to go back to what Cubano was saying earlier. If you guys have any sort of criticism towards any update, just say it in a respectful manner. Because as soon as any developer, whether it be Jack, Node, Snakeo, Combat, as soon as they read any type of like disrespect in a tweet, they're just gonna disregard it. You guys aren't gonna get your point across, and then you guys sit there and say, "Oh, but I left criticism about the update." But you guys aren't leaving criticism because you guys are saying it in such a disrespectful manner. If you guys just properly tweet them, not even email or anything, just send them a proper tweet and just say, "Yo, this is what I think about the update, and this is what I think you guys should do. You guys should either do this, do that." You know what I mean? You guys can leave your thoughts and ideas. Just leave it in a respectful manner, and that's when your opinion actually means something. You guys cussing them out, putting up videos, and just saying dumb stuff is honestly not gonna help you guys like get your point across, in all honesty. So if you guys ever have any issues about the game in any manner, just take it in a respectful way, and I feel like that'll actually make a difference in the game.
Agreed. Well spoken from a 17-year-old player. That's just to show you guys two different perspectives. 25-year-old veteran, 17-year-old virgin Gears of War player. Got him. Let me sprinkle a little bit on you. Woo! Got him.
I gotta do me like that, man.
Nah, I love you, Sam. So before we move on from this
love.
topic, if there's any questions that you guys have about the update or the CMG land, make sure you go and put it on the chat right now, just so we can kind of touch base on it. Before we even get to the Gears off season, because we are ahead of schedule, I am going to tell you guys something that happened today. Let me get my command out so that you guys can see it. All right, I do have it. I kind of forgot, but I'm going to put it on here real quick. Today we say farewell to Allegiance as they depart the esports world. So Team Allegiance, who actually happen to have a Gears of War team that you guys know through this season, has finally departed the esports scene. It's not just Gears of War, it's esports in general. That link will tell you guys, their message that they put out there. Sad to see a team like that go. I didn't really read into it that much, but I'm sure maybe cost came into effect, time maybe came into effect. But it's always a sad thing to see such a big organization like that leave the scene. They were in Call of Duty, they were in Gears of War. Pretty sure they were probably, Asma said, COD is playing at Champs, then going. Okay, so I guess Team Allegiance is going to be playing at COD Champs, and then they're going to be leaving the scene, which is great. But we bid them farewell from the Gears of War team side, and from myself. Great organization. Happened to speak to a couple of the owner / general manager, Connor Hall, who's a good guy. He did put the message out there. I'm reading it now. Thank you to everyone who has supported Allegiance over the 2 years, and we will see you at our last competition in Orlando at the Call of Duty Championship. Great to see those guys go. Just to kind of give them some limelight, they do have a little bit of their achievements that they put on there. They did get third place at the 2016 North American Regionals in Halo. They did get fourth at MLG Las Vegas in 2016 for Call of Duty. And of course, they got third place at the Gears of War Pro Circuit London Open for Gears of War, which happens to be, I think, two players that you're playing with, Sam, Yogurt and Giraffe.
Yes.
So they were a pretty successful team, organization, overall. Like I said, there's so many different reasons as to why an org as them would leave the scene. But again, we bid you farewell. God bless. Godspeed.
God's grace.
God's grace, yes. All right, so the problem was the heavy investments getting made. If you spread your money too fast, you won't make anything. Yeah, probably. That could be it. Like I said, financial reasons is always a big deal. They did seem to have a lot of teams, so that could be a reason. If you spread your wealth around instead of concentrating on a game or two, it is a little bit harder to keep up. So that could be right. You know, I'm going to give you credit for that. Sam, an organization like them, what would you say to them since they're leaving the esports world? What's your good grace that you say to them?
I would say honestly, it's a terrible situation because they were in Gears for almost ever since after the first event. I'm pretty sure, right? I know Revenge was with the current ALG team, or was with Kraz and Giraffe and that team, Jerpy and company. So after that first event, ALG picked them up, and then ever since then they've been at every single Gears event. So it's kind of unfortunate, not only to Gears but in the gaming community as well, because they were a pretty big org. Like they were in COD, they were in Gears, and did you say they were in Halo as well, or no?
Yes, they were in Halo.
They were in Halo, so that's 3 games losing a pretty big organization that was providing, I'm sure, salaries and full funding for their players. So that is definitely a big loss no matter what. So farewell to them. It was great while they were in Gears. They had consistent top 6, top 8 placing, so definitely a big org that's leaving the scene, not only in Gears but in other games as well.
Yep, agreed.
Alright.
Remove those pictures from the background. Head Papa 23. Not sure who you are, but those pictures are staying up there. If I'm not mistaken, we'll touch on that a little bit. Those pictures up there, I forgot which viewer had asked, but again, we are up on time. Those pictures back there, let me see. All right, so the one farthest to my left is actually my prom picture with my fiance Gabby. It's her and I holding hands. The one next to it in the middle with the rosary on it that was given to me from my grandmother who passed away 2 years ago. I love her. She meant the world to me. That is a graduation picture with her in it and my family all together for college. And the last, picture in general is Gabby and I together again in San Francisco when we went out there to visit her older brother, and a picture of my grandmother when she was in Ecuador. Again, she meant the world to me. I know somebody asked about that last episode and I never got to it, but we'll go with that for now. Let's see. So let me catch up on the chat. Oh, Rosado's in here, Sam. He said, wow, what a herb. You really have a Rostermania cup. Of course, Roz. What's up, baby? Yo, what's happening? My man Rosado's in the stream, guys. Everybody give him a shout out. I played with Rosado multiple times already. Last event I played with him at Vegas, himself and Sam, 2 of my teammates. I loved both of them. They brought the intensity and the experience that is needed to be a pro in this game. Rosado obviously a pro. Sam just knocking on the door of being a pro. He's already a pro in my eyes. Again, that's a biased opinion. You know, whatever.
Thank you, bro.
It happens.
Shout out to Rosado one time. Went to me, Cubano, and Rosado. We were out in Vegas playing. Definitely a good time. Don't even want to get into the specifics of that event, but yeah, it was definitely fun playing with Rosado. Great player, along with Cubano. But unfortunately, Cubano had to go down a different path. But it's all good.
It's all
He's
good,
gonna be
baby.
successful no matter what path he goes down. Very great man. And then shout out to Rosado. So yeah.
Thanks, homie. So, to catch up, Kevzer, can't wait to see you casting. Now, I hope the right people are in here watching live, and I hope they watch the rebroadcast. Just to kind of touch up on 2 weeks ago, I talked about casting and that I put my submission in there and whatnot. I really hope to be casting, or at least be some part of Gears of War season coming up, whether I do my post-game show with NJ Cubano or be a caster in general, at every event if possible. I would love to touch on that. So Kev, sir, I appreciate the shout out. Head Papa, I thought you were dating Immortal Spawn. No, not dating Immortal Spawn. We're actually both engaged now. I'm set to get married next June of 2018 to Gabby. We've been together for 8+ years now. So it's about time.
Teddy Bear Gabe.
Shut up. What college did you go to? I went to St. Peter's University in Jersey City. It's actually a Division I school too. Boy, shout out to the basketball team when I graduated.
What?
They actually made the Sweet 16, I think it was. They did lose to, what was it? I think it was Purdue. No, yeah, right? Yeah, Purdue. Something like that, whatever. But big shout out to them. One of my good friends played on the team. Rosado, how do you like, well, first of all, speak English. How do you like the new update, aka movement, Gabe? Sam and I spoke on that, but I'll touch up a little bit on it real quick for you. It is different. It's a little slower, kind of like Gears 2, kind of not. We kind of need some time to play it, give it a little bit of some time before we judge it. Like I said, send the feedback to anybody on Twitter in regards to the coalition. Email them. Make sure it's professional. Give it an overlook or not once or twice. Maybe get somebody to proofread it. But we did kind of like it, kind of didn't. But like I said, anything could change. It's just a beta, so the more feedback, the better. Who do you think is the best player in the game when it comes to raw skill? From Head Papa. Now, Head Papa, to answer that question, raw skill or best player in the game, I think it's kind of hard. Those are to me, that's two different things. Raw skill and best player, I guess, go hand in hand, not really. But I would say the best player in the game is probably mental or explosives at this point. Both extremely explosive players. They can break out any time, really. I am a big fan of mental. Billy's been playing for a long time now. He's kind of grown up through the years in regards to being the better player that he is today. I think he is probably the best player in the game, so I'll give it to mental. What are your top 5 Slayers? That's tough because I haven't been keeping up with Slayer-wise, but I would say definitely mental, definitely explosives. I'd probably throw in Rushies in there. Who else? I'll probably throw Solars in there, and probably like Toy Soldier, who's very up and down. Oh, Idenevs, yeah, that's true. Damn, Idenevs is a beast. I'll put Idenevs in there instead of Toy Soldier. Toy Soldier's great, but he's very up and down, Toy Soldier. So I'll give him, I'll bump him out for Idenevs. So let's get into the last topic of the night. We're going to be talking about Gears off season. Now we've already had 2 episodes. Oh, no, actually 3 episodes. Sorry, and there is going to be a season finale next week. For the Gears off season. I know Ashes is being featured on there. Shout out to Ashes, Optic Ashes. Sam, have you watched any of the episodes? And if you have, what's your opinion on it? What do you think?
I only watched 1 episode, and that was the one on Wednesday, and that was when I'm pretty sure that's whenever Ashes was speaking, the one the coach from Optic. And pretty much he was pretty much just elaborating about how they have to still stay on top of their game, of course, and how you can't really sleep on a team like Echo Fox now because they're pretty much, he said he saw some of the same flaws that he saw whenever they were Envy with Ribs on the team, but he did say that he saw some improvement with Cal on the team, but they are making some of the same mistakes. So honestly, yeah, it's pretty cool because you kind of get to see like what they actually think and how it's a reality show. Like, there's nothing ever wrong with a reality show because you get to see what people's actual thoughts and what they think about like what everyone thinks about. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone in the community thinks, oh, how is Optic gonna go into this next event talking about Shock and how he's replacing Icy. So I would definitely tune into the next episode. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to go check out those episodes there on Mixer.com. under the Gears of War channel, so definitely do that.
Yeah, I like that. My opinion on the show. So I saw episode 1. I was kind of late. I was in bed already. I was kind of getting ready to go to bed. Saw that it was live. Took a look at it. Kind of, it built on it. What am I saying? It grew on me after watching the first episode. So once episode 2 was announced, I was kind of like, all right, let me give it a chance. First episode was a little dry in my opinion, but of course it was just a pilot episode in general. Once I watched episode 2 and episode 3, I knew where the I guess you could say the coalition is going with the show. I think it's a great idea. kind of just to build a little bit more of a background slash story, bring a little bit more of a gimmick into the game. I think it's a great idea. This is something that I've been wanting in Gears of War for a long time now. Kind of build stories, build up rivalries. You see a little bit more behind the scenes in regards to pro players and what they do on their off time. Whenever you could get that comedy in there, teammates making fun of each other, or seeing the quirky, funny things that they do day in and day out, I think was awesome. With this next episode coming up, I know, like I said, it was featuring Ashies. I'm excited to see what they have in store for the next episode. I would like to see a little bit more, expanding the horizons, adding different players, adding different, it could be anything, coaches, managers, organizations, definitely bring in more like a team house vibe, kind of do like a Cribs live commentary, which would be pretty sweet from the team, kind of messing around and whatnot. I'm going to have to say, and I was so mad because I just stopped playing, I am dying to be on that show. I'm so entertaining, Sam. You know how I could get.
Definitely.
That's why I really hope I can work with the coalition and get in on some of this action. I think we need to liven it up a little bit. We do have a couple of Gears of War players here and there that could get a little crazy and be a little funny and entertaining, but I think that just lacks in general. Would love to see a Sam and Cubano episode on there, or at least throw us in there, throwing it up. Get me in there, get Sam in there, get something. You know what I mean? I like to see things spiced up. I'm tired of seeing the same old players all the time. Like, come on, let's make this crazy. Get me on there. Like I said, we're looking forward to episode 3. Episode 4, sorry about that.
Is the finale, by the way, guys.
Finale. Very
Yes,
true.
sir. 4 episodes. This is the 4th and final episode next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern if I'm not mistaken. And be sure to watch it through the Gears of War app, or not the app, but the website, to be sure, so you guys could claim those limited edition skins that they'll be giving out. So yeah, definitely tune in, guys. It's gonna be a good show, and definitely gonna be giving out some good skins as well.
Wow, thank you. You did it all for me, which I love. That's awesome. Make sure you listen to this guy. Listen to everything he just said. Watch the show, support it. Go on there, get your skins, whatever it is. Yeah, Vinny, it's only 4 episodes. I'm sure they're just starting it off. I'm sure they want to go into season 2, being like season 2 of the show as well, which would be pretty sweet to kind of start them both at the same time, which would be good timing. I think the season's probably going to start in October. That's just me. Who knows? Could be later, could be sooner. I don't know, honestly. I'm assuming early fall will be season 2 start. So to kind of wrap it up, Sam, let's touch on CMG. I know we've been seeing a lot of the CMG questions and whatnot. CMG this weekend, Saturday. Sam, take it away. Give a little bit more information as we close it up, just to give the people that are just coming in of an idea of what's going on this weekend.
Most definitely. So if you guys haven't heard already, the CMG event is going to be a 2-day event, 16 teams, completely sold out, which is beautiful. It's ran by Casual Misfits Gaming, and though the owners of CMG are also the owners of Fire and Ice, the organization, which are currently sponsoring Demo and company. So yeah, and then it's gonna be 3 stations. It's gonna be beautiful. Everything's gonna be ran on land. They're gonna be providing food. So if you live out in Cali, Las Vegas, Nevada, anywhere nearby, Arizona, be sure to come through. It's gonna be a great time. And then just to touch up on some wacky stuff that happened earlier, some snaking. Pretty much one of my teammates for the event, well, he was supposed to be my teammate, Firearm, you guys may know him as, he decided that he was going to go play with Rezik's team, and Rezik's team was looking for one. Rezik was subbing in for Crushmo, Eternity, and Crash, so they picked up Rezik as their 4th, and they didn't need a 5th since Strix couldn't make it. So Firearm decided to go play with them, and long story short, Firearm couldn't be released off of our team unless we gave full permission to by signing off on a contract, which is confusing a lot of people. But honestly, there's a roster lock. It's just a local, but this actually has more ruling than an actual event, because if you guys don't know, at MLG Las Vegas. A couple teams it was funny actually because Fire and Ice did not lose their seed after making a roster change, so it's actually fun. I actually like that CMG is taking the right approach to this. They should not let this team keep their seed if they pretty much want to pick up a new player after roster lock. I find that the only way to be fair. So pretty much to get back to the point, Firearm cannot be released from our team unless we sign off on the contract, which we decided to not release him because we would lose our seed, which is not fair. My teammates have like over 100,000 pro points combined, and why would they want a 16 seed with that many pro points for something that they worked hard for going to all these events? So come Saturday, Firearm has a choice to either play with us or play with I don't know if he could play with Rezik and them. I think if he doesn't come to the event with us, he really can't play with any other team. So it's either us or he doesn't play at all. And if he doesn't play with us on Saturday, then we get to keep our seed, and we get to pick any fifth at the door. So yeah, it's definitely been an interesting last few days. I mean, I don't know why I was taking to Twitter. I feel like he handled it very unprofessionally. I don't know why he would handle it in that manner, taking it to Twitter whenever we could have just kept it via CMG and us, talking out the rules and all that. But he decided to do it that way, and honestly, it is what it is. But yeah, that's about it for the CMG drama, guys.
Cool. Thank you for wrapping that up, Sam. Again, like you guys heard it, Sam here, Vital the One on Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and put it on here once again. Make sure you guys give Sam a follow. He is going to be playing this weekend, Saturday, live from the CMG tournament. We want to thank all of them for this tournament coming up this weekend. Want to thank all the players that are flying out, coming out locally. Sam, I want to wish your team the best of luck regardless of who it is. I know you're playing with Heza. Like I said, good guy.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming in here and watching the stream. Of course, without you guys, I wouldn't be anything. Gears of War Rostermania wouldn't be anything. NJ Cubano wouldn't be anything. I hope to see you guys at tournaments in Season 2. I am trying my hardest to get out there, whether it's casting, commentate, whatever it is. Just know that I am trying to put an effort to get out there for you guys. I would love to be part of the show now that I'm not playing anymore. Next week, we are going to be live again, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. One topic already that I'm going to have, obviously, is a CMG update. Maybe I'll have Sam on here, a couple of other players, one or two, kind of bounce ideas off of each other in regards to the tournament, get some results, maybe talk about some of the trash talk / drama that went down. But again, make sure you guys follow the stream. Follow me on Twitter at NJ Cubano. I'll see you guys next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Love you all. Sam, love you too. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. It was honestly an honor. Thank you so much. And if I could say one last thing to the stream, thank you for everybody who tuned in for the whole duration of the stream. If you guys haven't already, be sure to hit the follow button. Cubano's working as hard as he possibly can to provide these streams for you guys every Thursday at 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So thank you for everybody who came out. Feel free to support the stream in any way you possibly can. A follow means the world. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a good night, people.